Now then, crew, and welcome back to the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel and another video on the general maintenance of a Polaris 570 side-by-side. That's right, we've got another one here in the workshop which I've got to do lots and lots of work to, and one of those jobs is to replace the spark plug. So we'll make this video super straightforward and to the point and nice and short. Are you ready? Okay, roll the intro. Used.
You don't paint something without warning.
Honestly. Okay, so let's see what Polaris say on how to replace the spark plug on your 570. Now, page 108 of the service manual, Polaris states spark plug service 570. Well, I mean, nobody really cleans up old spark plugs, they just replace them. So we're just going to basically glean through this and pick up some really important information that we need for replacement. So we've got to remove the HT lead and we've got to clean around the spark plug area. The last thing you want to do is to put dirt inside the engine when you're removing the plug. That would be pretty bad and it's not going to help your engine whatsoever. Pull the plug out and it says here to inspect the electrodes for wear and carbon buildup and stuff. We'll have a quick look at the old plug, but we're going to put a new one in. And now if you do decide to refit your spark plug and not replace it, then it's very important that when you clean the electrode area to only clean with contact cleaner or glass bead spark plug cleaner only. Don't use a wire brush, don't use any kind of abrasive tape, because it leaves particles on the electrode which can cause more problems than they fix, to be fair. Okay, and it goes on to measure spark plug gap. So what we'll do is we'll pull the old plug out and then we'll gap the new plug before we fit it. The spark plug gap should be 0.7 to 0.8 millimeters. Okie dokie, right, first job is to remove the HT lead from the cylinder head. Sometimes they get a bit, oh there we go, look, that was pretty easy actually. Sometimes they're pretty hard to get out. Okay, so with the spark plug cap removed, we can have a little look down the tube down to the bottom where the spark plug sits, and this one is nice and bone dry. If there's oil down there, it's an indication that your rocker cover gasket is leaking and you'll need to address that. Really, before you go any further, you don't want oil getting on your spark plug. It can cause a breakdown of the insulation and cause the electric spark, the voltage, to leak down to ground and give you a misfire. Right, we'll give that a quick blowout with the airline, make sure there's no dirt in there, and we'll get the plug pulled out. Now, to be fair, if you've not got compressed air, cleaning out right down there is not going to be an easy task. Okay, cover your ears and eyes, here we go. Okay, it's over. Done. Whoa, some pressure in there today. Okay, now the spark plug socket size that you need for this job is a 16 millimeter. And you'll need a proper spark plug socket, otherwise it won't grip the spark plug to bring it out. Okay, see how tight the last mechanic put it in at. Here we go. Oh, that was bang on, I think. Well done, Polaris mechanic. Good job. Okay. And you want to take the ratchet off and try and undo it just by hand and keep the extension bar parallel to the hole. You don't want to put any undue pressure on the threads down in the head because you don't quite know what condition they're in. Right, there we go. One sparking plug. Now, whilst you're working on the bike, it's a really good idea to put some blue roller or a clean rag just in the hole. Especially on this machine, it is filthy, and the last thing I want to do is have dirt fall into the cylinder. So we'll just pop that in there. You know, better safe than sorry. Good practice. Right, we've got the spark plug. Let's have a look on the bench. Now, spark plugs, they tell a story, right? So we want to have a little look at the electrode. This one is pretty black and sooty around the base. I mean, so black and sooty you can hardly see it on the camera. It's like a black hole in there. But the actual electrode tip, the earth side of the electrode, is almost white. So it's been running pretty hot on the actual electrode itself, and she might be burning just a little bit of oil. You know, it is a farm machine after all. Okay, so the part number for the spark plug that was fitted is MR7F. Now, I don't know if that's correct or not. Let's go and take a quick look in the service manual and just verify that. Now, you should never assume that the plug that comes out is correct. Always reference the service manual or do a bit of research. In fact, look in the owner's manual if you've got that, because it should be in there as well. So yes, NGK MR7F is the correct spark plug. And the new plug, when we refit it, should be 12 Newton meters. And Polaris tell us, whatever you do, do not put anti-seize on the threads. Okay, I normally do. It makes them a lot easier to get out, but it does affect the torque applied to that spark plug. And with anti-seize on, you can end up over-tightening them. Okay, so in this particular case, the old plug's going to go in the bin, and to be fair, I wouldn't feel happy refitting that anyway. So, we'll grab our new plug. Now these come, or should come, pre-gapped. Let's have a little look. Has it got a dash at the end? So it's an MR7F 95897. Maybe. I don't recognise that part number, to be honest with you. So we'll double check anyway. We've got our little champion spark gap checker. This is the millimeters side. This is the inches side. I'm a millimeters kind of a guy. So the spec was 0.7 to 0.8 of a millimeter. Well, we've got 0.75 just here. So let's see if that's going to be a good fit. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good. It's just snug. So I would say that plug is at 0.7. Now, if we want to increase the gap slightly, we've got this little tool on the side. So we can pop that in there, and then and then we can just lever it open. You can be super careful you don't touch the insulator, because you can crack that. And I think we need to use a smaller one. Hang on, bear with me. There we go. There is a gap now, right? So we can just very gently open that out. Didn't look like I was doing anything, but I was. Okay, we'll check it again. So 0.75 is that one there. Going in for another check. Yes, there we go. Happy with that. That's about 0.7. So we will stick that in the vehicle. We're not going to put any kind of lubricant or copper paste or aluminium paste on these threads. To be perfectly honest, in the past I have, but I prefer to go with what the manufacturer recommends. And in this case, it goes in dry. Okay, to the bike. Okay, we'll just remove our little bung. There we go. And spark plug going in. Now, again, another reason for using a proper spark plug socket, because it has a little piece of rubber in there which holds the spark plug in the socket. It can't fall out. If the spark plug drops down, it can bend the electrode and destroy the clearance, the spark plug gap that you've just set. But also, it can damage the insulation and internally in the spark plug and cause you to have misfires. So we'll just lower that down nice and carefully. Engage the threads. There we go. Wind that in by hand. Again, keeping the extension bar sort of parallel to the hole. You'll feel when the threads are sort of lined up, because it just wants to go in. If you're off to one side, it makes it a lot harder to turn. There we go. We are finger tight. Torque wrench is preset to 12 Newton meters. So we'll pop him on there. Here we go. You ready? Try and do it in one sweep. There we go. There is a crushable washer on there, so we've got to take that into account. So we'll just keep going until it stops. There we go. That's excellent. So with the crushable washers, don't accept the first click on your torque wrench. Just release, go again, do it 2 or 3 times, and then you'll get to a point like we did there, where the torque wrench will always click straight away, you know. And that is the crushable washer crushed to the correct amount. And the spark plug is now correctly tightened. Now, before we fit the plug cap, I want to have a little look down inside here to make sure there's no signs of tracking. Now, not an easy shot to get for you. I've got to try and keep it in focus. So looking down the plug, you can see that shiny metal bit. That's the actual clip that clips on top of the spark plug. We're looking down the side, on the inside of the actual tube, to see if we can see any kind of marks in there. I've got all sorts of torches helping us out here. That looks pretty good, that side. I can't see any burn marks at all. You'll see it by a very clear line running down the plastic, sorry, down the rubber, where it's been tracking. And there were no signs on the old plug that there was any tracking either. So I think we're pretty much good to go with that. It's always good to check at this point though. Now, when refitting the plug cap, make sure that you get it all the way down. There we go. And it correctly clips onto the spark plug. Very easy to forget to do that. There we go. That was the clip. And that's fully in place. And it also means, because it's all the way down, it's making good contact with the spark plug electrode at the top. But it's also far enough down to create a good seal around the top of this boot against the rocker cover as well. Okay, really is as simple as that. Knowing all the information makes life a lot easier. It's peace of mind. You know you've done a good job. We've covered the spark plug part number from NGK. We've covered the plug gap 0.7 to 0.8 millimeters. We've covered the torque applied to the spark plug when refitting the new one as 12 Newton meters. And more importantly, we've also covered that 12 Newton meters torque. Do not apply any kind of anti-seize to the threads. Otherwise, when you apply the 12 Newton meters, it will actually over tighten the spark plug and it can start to damage the threads in that aluminium head. And that gets real expensive if they pull through. Okay, crew, I promised you a short video. It is and has been, I hope, a short video. Hopefully you found it helpful and informative. So when you're servicing your Polaris 570, you'll know how to do this particular job the right way. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, now's a great time to do that. Ring the bell and our friends down at YouTube will notify you when any new videos go up. There's no obligation. You can unsubscribe whenever you like. So it doesn't cost anything, so why not? Now, you'll also find me on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to support the channel, you can do that through Patreon. You can become a patron. There's various tiers to unlock, or you can do a monthly donation to support the channel. You know, whatever suits. If not that way, then you could jump onto PayPal, fire a couple of bucks through, just to help the workshop out, help me out. You know, we make lots of videos down here, and to be fair, the revenue from YouTube, it's not great. It really isn't. Fortunately, I have other income sources and I enjoy making the videos. That's why I do them, to help people like you. Now, if you want to support the channel in different ways, you could share this video. There's quite a few videos already on the channel now on various Polaris repairs. And, if you're a member of the Polaris forum, then why not post a link to this video or one of the other Polaris related videos from the channel. That will increase the viewer base and maybe help a few more people out. That's what it's all about. One final option, if you want to send me something, I have a PO box up in Auckland. I'll put the address on the screen for you now. You can write me a letter if you like, or you can send me something, whatever you'd like to do, and I'll feature it on the channel. And if it's a tool that you send through, maybe one that you think will be really helpful to the channel, then I'll include that in future videos. You'll see the tool in use as well. All right, crew. Well, until next time, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Cheers. Over and out. much.